Welcome to the first video in the 7 Habits of Highly Successful Internet Marketers. In this first video, we're going to be looking at niche awareness, what it is, and why it's so important to the success of any internet marketing business. First of all, let's take a look at the evergreen niches. You can see that the evergreen niches break down into 3 broad marketplaces: health, wealth creation, and lifestyle. Now, each of these markets has existed for far longer than the internet has. In fact, these are markets that have existed since pretty much the beginning of anyone selling anything to anyone else, since the beginning of marketing itself. For example, health. People are always looking for ways in which to improve their health or their fitness, and there's always a marketplace out there who want that information. In the same way, people are always looking to make more money, so wealth creation is a big marketplace. Similarly, lifestyle is an area which people want to improve constantly, and so a certain number of people will always be looking for solutions within that market. As a result, these 3 markets are a fantastic place to start when you're thinking of going into internet marketing and starting your business, or even when you're exploring a new niche. If I just break down lifestyle for a second, you can see that I've given 3 examples right here: dating, cosmetic beauty, and gaming. Now, dating, for example, people are always looking for their soulmate or looking for somebody who they can share their life with. If you can provide a way in which they can do that, and do that more effectively than anyone else can provide that solution, then you have a market and you have a business potentially, because you're doing something that nobody else is doing. You could even drill down into even smaller niches, and we'll talk about drilling down again a bit later on. But for example, in the dating niche, you could go right down to specifically to dating within religious groups. So dating for Jewish people, or dating for Christians, or dating for Hindus, for example. That could be something that you could add down into the mix potentially, and it would be a way in which you could get even deeper into your marketplace and just purely have people within that particular group who you cater for. Similarly, cosmetic beauty is another area in which people want information. There's always been a want or a need for people to look younger, or look better, or look even more beautiful. Now, this primarily used to be a female market, in that most of the people who were buying the products were female. But nowadays you can see that it's been broadened to men as well. So for example, men are looking to look even better and have an even more defined body, an even better six-pack, for example. People who want their abs to be worked on, people who want a bigger chest. Again, that can apply to women as well. And if you can provide methods in which people can do that either naturally, or provide information on how they can get that look in 3 easy steps, then that's the sort of thing people are looking for, because people in that market can be quite vain, and as a result you can appeal to that vanity in them by saying, well, here's 10 easy steps in my ebook to the better body, or to the perfect beach body, for example, because of course when summer comes around every year, people want to have that body that people can admire on the beach. Gaming is a very interesting part of that market, because in the gaming market, within lifestyle, gamers actually define themselves as gamers. They define themselves by what they do and by who they are as a result of that. And if you can appeal to a group like that, then you have a much better chance of creating a successful business, because those people act almost like a tribe. They're almost a market within a market, and they're almost quite proud of their achievements, and they want to be the best at what they do. So as a result, you can appeal to that side of them and create a business within that particular market. So those are the 3 evergreen markets and the niches that exist within them. Many of the people within internet marketing are passionate problem solvers. They could be doing it for a number of reasons, but if you're solving a problem, you're helping someone, and if you're helping someone, you can get paid for that. So for example, they could be doing it for profits, just purely helping people because they know that if they provide the right solution in the best possible way, in a way that lots of people can get access to. So for example, it could be audio, video, and producing an ebook. If they can do all of those things, then they're doing it better than, say, their competitors are. If they're doing that, then they can get more of a profit. Some people might be doing it for altruistic reasons. They might be doing it to help people, to relieve pain, for example. if they've suffered from back problems in the past. If you've suffered from back problems in the past, then you would be able to create a product and say, well, this is how I solve my problem. And again, that's very powerful because it means that you already know the market, because you basically are it. You were that market 2 years ago, and now that you've solved your back problem, you can now go back and appeal to other people who are in the same position that you were in. A very good way of finding problems is to go to the market itself for answers. Go and look at forums or go and survey people within that particular marketplace to find out what it is they want. Now this might change, and you might find that it's something that you didn't really expect. That's fantastic, because if you've gone to the market to ask that question, then the answers you get are very, very powerful, because you know exactly what that market wants, as opposed to trying to guess and potentially failing. Now, of course, that comes on to research. Research within your niche is vital. It's very important, for example, to follow what's known as the first rule of elopement. Now, this comes from sort of a bit of a joke, whereby the first rule of elopement is that if you're going to elope, you should make sure your ladder is against the right window. Now, of course, that's, as I say, kind of funny, but the reason that it's so important, and the reason I've included it here, is because if you don't know what window, or in this case what market, you're going to be propping your ladder against, what's the point in climbing it all the way to find out that you were wrong? So if you go to the market in the first place and you research and you ask them the right questions, like what they're looking for, what problems they face, what solutions they've tried in the past, what's worked and what hasn't, if you go and get answers to all of those questions within a very specific marketplace, you'll be able to find out exactly what people want and then deliver it to them. That's a far more powerful way of doing it than just guessing and hoping for the best. You can also survey leads and lists. So for example, if you have lists of people within a market already, you can go to that market and ask them what they want next. Again, very simple method of going about research. But if you do that, you get answers from real people, and at the end of the day, real people are the ones going to be buying your products, not necessarily marketers. Of course, if you're in the wealth creation niche and you're in internet marketing, then you could potentially be marketing to somebody just like yourself, somebody who wants to create more money. But in most cases, in most markets you go into, you won't be an expert, so you need to find out what people want by surveying them. There are multiple methods to qualify a niche as well. You could find that people are searching for a lot of certain things on Google. If there's over, let's say, 10 or 15,000 searches per month for one particular topic, but there's not many people advertising, then that could be potentially a good niche. You could then go to clickbank.com and you'd be able to see if there's anybody who's created a product for that particular niche as well. There's also places like pay.com, which again is similar to ClickBank, is a place for digital products and digital downloads. If you go there and you see that there's no product for that niche, but it's getting lots of people searching for it, then you would be able to create a product and corner that particular market. It's important as an internet marketer, particularly a successful one, to always be searching for good niches. This can happen in a number of different ways, but the best reasons for doing it is that it's multiple sources of income. Now, I've put multiple sources of inspiration because that's where the starting point is. There are lots of different ways in which you can be inspired to create a different source of income for yourself. So for example, you could go to your local store, go to the magazine section and check out what new magazines have been coming out recently. There's also a few websites. One I believe is magazines.com, which is a directory of all the magazines that have been released pretty much in the last few years. As a result, you can see which magazines have come out recently, and if a magazine's just been brought out by a company, that magazine must have had a lot of market research go into it in order to produce it, because it's expensive to run a magazine, and it's expensive to do all the printing and get all the adverts and all of that sort of thing. If the market didn't exist, that magazine wouldn't exist, so there must be a market if there's a magazine for it. That's just one example. There's lots of other places to find inspiration. Google AdWords, the keyword tool, is one I've already mentioned. That's somewhere where you can find out how many people are searching for certain bits of information. It's important as well when you're in internet marketing to be aware of upsells after the initial sale. And the reason I've included that here is because you can be constantly looking for ways in which to improve your service. So if you can improve the service you provide, then you can potentially ask more money for it. If you can also add to that service by providing another product that helps them even more, again, you can charge more money for that. So it's good to be aware that you can have an upsell to a particular product. And when I say an upsell, I mean that you're going to provide a product for somebody, and then as they're going to buy it, you say, but hold on a minute, people who've bought this product have also bought this, and as a result they might want to buy that second product as well because it's something that provides even more value to them. A good example of this is Amazon.com. They are complete geniuses when it comes to this method. They will, on the way out, as you sign out of or check out I should say of Amazon.com, you will see that they start to upsell you things. They say, well, you're about to buy this, people who bought that also bought some of this stuff, why don't you have a look and see if you might like it too? And they're providing value for those people, and they're making more money as a result of doing that. Again, it's important to keep in constant contact with buyers, either through a list that you've already built, or if you haven't got a list, then go to forums, go to places that those people frequent, whether it's offline or online. This is a good example, but particularly we're talking internet marketing. Go and look in forums, go and talk to the people who have those problems, find out what they are and how you can solve them. Finally, it's important to drill down within a particular niche and find micro niches. So for example, within the health or lifestyle markets, you could be thinking of beauty, as I mentioned earlier on. Now under cosmetic beauty there could be a number of different micro niches. For example, you could just get very good at makeup, and within makeup you could get very good at just being a fantastic eye makeup artist. There are people out there who want specific information, and if you are the expert on that particular thing, or you can find the expert on that particular thing and interview them and create a product as a result, then you stand a much better chance of cornering that market because no one else is being that specific. And specificity is a very important part of being niche aware. It's also good to think laterally within your niche. How can you provide more value for those people within that particular niche market? So I mentioned earlier on upsells. It's a good idea to create products that are around a similar topic. So if you're, for example, a big fan of a computer game, let's say Grand Theft Auto or Modern Warfare, they're both very big games that have come out in the last couple of years, and they're constantly being updated. The developers are working on new versions all the time. As a result, you can tap into that and show people how they can improve their gameplay, how they can cheat, how they can just provide a much better service for them and a much better experience for them, and as a result you can get paid for that, for giving that value to people. And it could be in several forms. It could be in the form of video or an ebook, or it could be just an audio commentary. Any of those sorts of things would be useful. In the video gaming market, of course, it's a very useful thing to have a video. You know, if you've got videos that will teach people exactly what to do at a certain point in a game that will improve their gameplay and their life, then they will pay you handsomely for it. Finally, it's a good idea to look at other niches and see what's worked there. So for example, in the health market, you might have written a book all about, let's say, back pain, let's say sciatica. That's a very specific micro niche. People who've suffered from sciatica in the past, which I believe is a disorder of the spinal column and the vertebrae, and also the discs in between those vertebrae. If you've suffered from sciatica in the past, then you can write a book on that and then see what's worked in other niches and apply it to selling that book. So you could look at the back problem niche as a whole, look at what's worked within that market and then apply it to your very specific micro niche product. So I hope that's been useful for you. That's niche awareness, and it's obviously good to be very aware of this when you first start out and do this research in the places that I've mentioned in order to find exactly what your market wants and how you can deliver it to them. So let's move on to the next video in the 7 habits of the highly successful internet marketers.